let us have an overview on jinsi. Hawa majinsi wanafikiri ndio wameanzisha. We started it a long time ago. Actually, there is a song which was sung in 1973 which say photo ya majinsi. Photo ya majensi na kubomba na sutse. Photo ya majensi na kubomba na sutse. Photo ya majinsi, I will hide it in my bra. That is Sosoliso, my band. But anyway, we are talking about Generation Z, which is calling itself Gen C. Let us have an overview of it holistically. In any military operation, there is usually a meeting, an overview to look at the successes and failure of that military operation. It is called debriefing. Debriefing. Debriefing is when you come back to the camp and tell the commander. Or if you went with the commander, you sit down and assess the situation and say, the operation we went, this is what we targeted and this is what we got. Did we get more than what we targeted, or did we get less, or did we get exactly what we went for? That is what is called debriefing. Let me do some debriefing on jinsi, although I'm not trying to say that yao imekwisha, but up to this time. Before you came, doctors had been leading. Doctors had been leading in something that is called a protest. Actually, doctors used to do it so well that I was even annoyed when their Secretary General, Dr. Davji, was hit by a tear gas canister. They were doing very well. But when you people came, you overtook them by far. You overtook them by far. And actually, I remember someone complaining that some police officers were rough on you, yet yours was a peaceful. In fact, it was far more better than that of doctors. And I told them, police are used to getting instructions. Now, when they left, and that is what is called briefing, before they go for mandaman or anything, they are told what to do. Now, if they are told you are peaceful the way you are peaceful at the beginning, they would not even carry clubs. They would just come in uniform. So you shocked them, and there was little or no time for them to be told that actually you are good people. I remember when pickpockets infiltrated you, you went to an extent of arresting those pickpockets and handing them over to the police. And I'm sure the police we could not trust their eyes. They thought they were dreaming. You made the cops look stupid. I told somebody that the police are used to being instructed. So when you behaved that way, the police were so shocked that they didn't know what to do. According to my opinion, you had two weaknesses. You had two weaknesses, the principal and the subsidiary. The principal one is not a weakness, it's also a strong point, because in Kenya we have known that when you have a leader to lead the demonstrations, he could be given factories. You remember there was a factory where somebody had been sold the movable equipment, but when he cooperated so well, he was given even the land, kama bakshish. So there is an advantage of having a centralized command, because even when you people are communicating through internet and whatever, I'm sure you are also alive to this thing that we are starting a new site. Maybe people are signing up to this and that, maybe to know what is happening. You sign that, kumbe somebody is hacking your phone or something like that. There is that risk. But then having a centralized command center has its advantages and disadvantages. And one of the disadvantages of having a centralized, as I've said, is that your leader would take that opportunity to to enrich himself. So when you don't have a central command, you do not give somebody a chance to enrich himself. Remember, I have avoided the word herself. You also did not know when to quit. You know, we have a song there's a song which used to sing when I was at your age. It used to be called Gambler. And the gambler says, know when to walk away. Know when to walk away. You make your point, it is known, you walk away, and then keep quiet. You leave the other camp, disorganized. They don't know. You see, you can call yourselves within minutes. You can assemble within minutes. So somebody says, if I misstep, then they'll call themselves within minutes. You did not know when to quit. And even when there was a lot of concession on your side, you started adding more conditions. And the last condition you made, I've got, I think my last born is the one who is a Generation Z, my last born. Even the generation that you followed, we have been there. In fact, this hot blood is what made me leave my job. We have been there, we have seen that. The best thing is to decide when to leave. And also you have to, I've given an example that you didn't have a command. Also you didn't have what happens after you get what you get. Or what happens after you lose what you wanted to get. You didn't have that. I've only seen through videos young men and young women with one thing in common: bitterness. As I'm talking, what you are doing, you are not the first people to do it. You are the first people to do it in Kenya and probably in Africa. But even my age mates did that. Remember, 1979, I was in Form 4. And university students from Tehran went and overran the American embassy. They went round it, occupied it. When they occupied it for years. Actually, there are some American embassy officials who stayed there as prisoners for up to about 5 years. So these things you are doing happened during our time, but not to us, not even Africa. It was in Tehran. But those university students had a plan B. They didn't want the Shah, Mohammed Peva Pahlavi, and Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini took the advantage. You people, after doing whatever you did, what next? I remember, and one time I'm going to talk about him, my former boss called Christopher Malukilati. Christopher Malukilati used to tell me that he hated any employee, any staff member who would go to him has a problem without even a suggestion, or even without so you would go and tell him, sir, there is this and this and that and whatever. Then you'd say, supposing you are in this position and I was you. Supposing you are a deputy commissioner of police and I was the inspector of police are coming to tell you there's a problem here. And what would you have said? You said, okay, I would have done this and this, and then he would tell you that. Maluki Lucky wanted, if you go to see him, you have to have a plan. Your plan was to be, what next? What did you want? Okay, you wanted the bill with the drone, yes. Okay, if the bill was with the drone, that's the end of you. But then, from there, when you got what you wanted another thing. You wanted more things. You even wanted the president to resign. Now, supposing Ruto would have resigned, Rigathi Gachagua would have been the president up to 2027. I don't know. You see, when we talk, you say, nyinyi wazee ni wazee wa analog. Nyinyi ni wazee wa analog. So that is, you didn't have those things. And even if Ruto resigned today, you'd have even said another thing and another thing and another thing. Even in arguments. By the way, I'm an arbitrator in my other life. A couple can come to me, this and this and this. Then one of them says, I want this and this. When that person is given, granted what, alafu nilikuwa nataka pia uongezee, don't. When you're going, you go there with your conditions. Let's say they are 15. You'll be lucky if you get 10, because it is give and take. Out of the 15 points you want, 5 will go out. But you are given the all 15, and then you add another 10. One thing as a what do you call it? We call it ADR, alternative dispute resolution. We usually say the referees would tell you, would even go against you, because even when you ask for 15 and we give you, and you ask for another 5 to make 20, we will refuse, because we know even if we get the 20, you'll want 30. So you should have a list of things, and then those things, remember, you'll be lucky if you get 2/3. Now, when did rain start beating you? The rain started beating you. You know, you remember, the police were so much confused, and even the members of public, and you see, anything you do, that is what we say, you are playing to the gallery. Anything you do, play to the gallery, the third party. And remember, the third party was impressed by you. I remember seeing some shops willingly, they were throwing, was it water or was it some drinks? Was it water? Was it soda? Was it whatever? They were willingly, from the first floor, they were willingly giving it to you to drink. Whether it was water, whether it was mineral water, whether it was soda, the members of public were supporting you. Things started going bad. I'm told over 500 people were drawn from Mathare, Dandora, Kayole, and Kawangware. People were drawn from there to infiltrate you. One thing, it was very easy for you to know other people without even uniform. If you look at the people who were Gen Zs, the IQ was very high. And I can tell you, you could have smoked out the 500 in a flash. You just look at them, you just reason at whatever, and you'll, even if you people don't know each other, but just by looking at the 500 people, I'm sure at least 200 would have been caught. And you didn't even have to arrest 200. You only needed to arrest 100, and the others would scramble back to wherever they came from. So you are infiltrated by those people, and those are the people, I believe, because the first breach of contact came during, you remember there was a shop where people entered, youths entered and stole the mobile phones. That is where the rain started. I'm sure that those who stole from the mobile phones were the 500 people who were brought in from Mathare, Dandora, Kayole, and Ongwaro. I've seen, I've watched your videos, I've watched whatever you say, I've watched whatever. I do not think that I would want to stake out my reputation by saying that I don't believe you are the type who could go and break into a shop and steal mobile phones. But then, those are purely thieves who did that. The problem you did, and the problem that you did internationally, was when you breached two arms of the government. Entering the court area, not just a court area, the Supreme Court, and then you breached also the legislative place. I can tell you, if you were killed, 1,000 of you that day, there is no unless, you see, of course we have problems where a certain country can infiltrate another country. But even in those cases where a country infiltrates another country, you'll rarely see them supporting you when you have breached the judiciary and the legislative. You did very bad. It is like we had I remember when we were in second, we used to have African Writers Series books where they said that there was an antelope that danced itself lame before the final day. And in Luhya, there's a saying that says, Omulai achinamuluse lala. Simply put in the two is what somebody sang in The Gambler, Kenny Rogers, when he said, know when to walk away. And they say after a battle, tactical withdrawal is for access is the biggest success any military commander would wish for. And then somebody came and started saying, occupy State House, occupy State House. That was really misinformed, and I would wish, you know, if I were to go to my laptop, spend there a day or two, I can pick 50 people. Kina Shadrach, kina this Wanjiru, whatever. Because you do not have a centralized what. And then these people, the government should set aside a budget for them to go around. Because look at them. But you know, human beings, akikaa karibu na mafuta atanaona. But at least we know a few people, you can organize them, around 20 of them. They sit down and make feelings of the youth people be known. Lastly, I noticed there was something that you people are not getting it. Let me give my interpretation. First of all, some of the things that you complain, you still continue to complaining even after they had been withdrawn. Something like sanitary pads, they had already been withdrawn and you are still continuing complaining about it. There was also another thing that I observed, maybe you did not understand. Yes, we have two types of land. We have freehold and we have leasehold. And they said that freehold, that is within municipality. Within municipality. You did not read that part of within municipality. You just got the impression that it is throughout the country. So it is not late, and again your issues have not been addressed. But next time, it is not too late for you to regain your your rightful place in life. Just know that, as I've shown in Tehran, 1979, university students overran. But you see, there they had a plan, or can we say, Ayatollah Lahora Khomeini took the advantage of that and ruled until he died. So the thing is, whenever you come, as I've said, Mr. Christopher Maluki liked, my former boss used to say, whenever you see a problem, come, we sit down. Say this and this is happening. For example, you are, and I'm seeing that thing common with the Kenyans, not just Gen Z. If you are to sit down with any Kenyan who has been to Form 1, they would wish that we don't pay taxes, even a single cent. But they would want a lot of development. Let me tell you, Gen Z, yes, you have pinpointed. You have pinpointed that you don't want. First of all, internationally, we have offices of First Lady and Second Lady. The position of the wife to Prime Cabinet Secretary, that one you had issue, which is okay. Because if you remember very well, Mama Margaret Kenyatta used to have beyond zero. So first ladies usually in every country, they have such things. So you should have understood that. And and then the other thing, if you would have wanted the office to be there, so that no budget apart from office, apart from office, because they can convert one of the rooms in the State House or even Arambe House to be First Lady's place. Mama Margaret Kenyatta, you had her office in the NHIF. No, Mama Lucy Kibaki had her office in NHIF, and those people whom Uhuru wanted, those people who didn't want Uhuru to be the next president, had snatched the office from Uhuru. Did not have an office. You know, Uhuru was deputy prime minister and the minister for finance. So because of the ICC, he had to resign as the minister for finance. And so he had to move out of the treasury. When he moved out of the treasury, when he moved out of treasury, he had no office. So when the president, when Uhuru was elected as president-elect, Kibaki told him, "Can you continue using that office of yours as we look for another office?" Uhuru told him, "I don't have an office." So Kibaki had to look for an office in the KICC. This is what I'm saying. You go to our neighboring countries, first ladies and second ladies usually have offices. The only thing is we should have scaled down. Another thing, you should have said that things such as various development, if you see the deputy president's mansion, the budget is not just current. He has another mansion in Mombasa and such a thing. So then the state houses, we have, I don't know, 6 or 7. They would have said that okay, we renovate this financial. Why should we renovate all state lodges and state houses and all whatever? You should have reasoned that way. But then you are learning, and the best lesson somebody can have is through making mistake. But you can still have, even if things happen the way you want, you still can have that supervisory body where you watch as things happen. Just the list you have after the assault, don't just go out. The other thing I'm not happy about is this thing about burning building and attacking leaders associated with the other feelings. You are introducing a dictatorship, and we do not want a dictatorship. Any question, any comment? in the comment section.